So I cloned almost everybody on Airchat, and I made a website out of it, airchatclones.com. You can type in your handle, see if it's there. There wasn't enough data for everybody, but I cloned a lot of people. And yeah, I hope you think that it is fun to mess around with. And yeah, just wanted to open this room to talk about it. Any questions or discussion that stems from this?
Hey, Brent. So I tried it out. I don't know what voice model you're using, but I didn't find it very accurate. I listened to myself, I listened to Brett Hall, and maybe to my ear, it just didn't sound anything like we sound. Now, that said, still an admirable effort. I'm sure some voices are easier than others, and I'm sure this technology will just get better and better. So it's kind of interesting to consider where it's going. Does this mean none of us should ever speak again in public? I don't think that's the correct answer, because our voices are everywhere. Even if you don't speak in public, there are public cameras and microphones that will eventually pick up your voice. So the idea that a voice print is going to stay unique and hidden is just like facial recognition. It's like saying your face is going to remain unique and hidden. So I think more the issue is, how are we going to authenticate that that is really what we said and that it wasn't faked as the technology gets better? And I think the answer to that is going to be third-party authentication services. Could be cryptographic, could be web of trust, could just be like, hey, if I didn't say it on Airchat or write it on Twitter, then you have no proof that it was me.
I had a feeling that Airchat would do this, but somebody else did it. So what's up, Brent, who just downloaded and scraped the public Airchat website, which I participate in a lot, and now has launched airchatclones.com, and I participate in Airchat quite a lot. So here's my voice, and this is my blind reaction. I played just a tiny sample of this. I haven't listened to this. Yeah, I don't know. This is the first time, or maybe the second time I was cloned.
Well, shit, this is me, my voice, cloned from a bunch of my Airchat shits. I don't know if I like this.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like me. I'm not worried. Let's crank similarity up and like remove stability. Let's see. Let's try this.
Well, shit, this is me, my voice, cloned from a bunch of my Airchat chits. I don't know if I like this.
No, that sounds almost British. It's like my version, as though it would live in Britain and then become a voice. So I'm not worried yet, but insane.
Pretty cool, Brent. Mine sounds pretty good. Are you using 11? Are you using Kokui? Are you actually fine-tuning some wavenets? Can definitely be improved. Love this space.
I'm testing this out too, and this is quite astonishing. Even though it's not entirely accurate, the tonality, the intonation, and the nuance is quite similar. And to just hear myself say words that I'm not saying is bewildering. So I guess big props for this technological feat. This is awesome. I realize that for someone that's not a public persona or a public figure, this could simply just be fascinating and just leave it at that. But for more prominent voices like yourself, Naval, does the advancement of this type of technology concern you in the direction that it's going?
I think it's going to matter for everyone, though. It doesn't matter if you have a prominent public persona. I mean, the potential implications for this on personal levels, whether it be just for your small business or interpersonal relationships, like it gets quite dicey quite quickly. And so as Naval mentioned in former chits, it's like it's essential. It's essential that there's some sort of adopted standard for authenticating when someone is actually speaking and sharing their own opinion, as opposed to these potential manipulations or false representations. This weird question around like what right did someone have to clone my voice, right? It's like I didn't come onto Airchat necessarily agreeing to have my voice cloned. I guess I didn't necessarily agree to have it protected against that, right? So it was my own risk that I took on when I decided to join the app. But it's interesting. It was inevitably going to happen. I don't disagree with that for sure. But it's weird. Future's now. That's for damn sure.
That's a good point, because if you are a more public figure, there could be ways of authenticating that and verifying if this is legit or not. But if you're a nobody, who's going to believe you?
Hey, Brent, I love this product and I just tried it out. My voice is a bit accurate. Well, not much, but a little bit it's accurate, I feel. My only concern is from a legal perspective, like trying to avoid the privacy thing, as in like you're basically cloning people's voice, but without consent. So over there, I think it's a bit of a problem, but overall, it's a great product. So yeah. Also, it's important to note that, like, I think as Nicholas mentioned, like, yeah, what right was there for this voice to be cloned. My only fear is that if this actually becomes a very big product, it can be misused. So I think protecting that thing is very important, like a way through which we can validate. So here, like, I think this can call for a request for a startup idea, like as an AI product that actually validates if a voice is authentic or not. But I think it's clearly you can make it out from this app, like it's from the robotic tone. I think we can make it out it's not real. But in general as well, like for some people, I think you can make out that I think if the voice is accurate, that's what the problem is. So yeah, and this will be a last message, I promise. But another good use case is like memorializing voices. For example, let's say if someone like wants to keep the voice forever for your loved ones, I think that's where it would work. But yeah, overall great product. The only two feedback: focus on how you can validate voices, and this other use case. Yep, that's it. Thank you.
Hey Brent, this is very cool. I tried it out and it kind of sounded like me, but also pretty much not like me. But it sounded like the ideal version of what I wanted to sound like. And thank you for creating that. I'm probably going to learn a lot from it. I'm going to try to imitate that voice it created. Great work. Though, yeah, I mean, there are privacy implications. Like, I don't know if people are going to be comfortable with like their voices being scraped. But I myself, I loved it. Like, please scrape more of my voice and please make it sound more like me. Really great work, Brent. Really great work.
Brent, very cool. Creeped out, but very cool. And Kumar, that's a really interesting use case. Imagine for speech therapy, you being able to hear your ideal voice saying a speech or something important and meaningful, and then practicing on that. I really like it. Or learning a new language, etc.
So I checked out your voice clone, and I noticed that some of the files that I was cloning off of, or specifically one of them, wasn't that high quality. So I downloaded a couple more. I think it sounds a little bit better now. Now, of course, it works better for some people and worse for others. And it is a little bit different to everybody's ear. I mean, I've shown this to some people and they're like, wow, this is indistinguishable from my voice. And I've also shown this to some people and they've been like, whatever, so I think it's worth it though. It's definitely cool to like, I think the average amount of coolness is like probably like pretty good. This is an interesting thought, and I've talked about this with some people before. It does seem quite hard to like authenticate, or like if there is a cryptographic protocol, it would be hard to have it like truly decentralized. It would probably be like a few big trusted parties, probably the networks you use, something like Airchat or Twitter, that verify stuff. There's also another interesting perspective here, which is like we probably live in this 100-year period that digital media and the internet were being birthed, where if you saw a video or you saw an audio recording, you could default assume that this is just a real audio recording or a real video recording. But as soon as we hit this point, whether it be in the next 10 or 20 years, like default, you can't assume that anything that you hear or see is real.
Hi, everybody. I heard a lot of your responses and feedbacks, and I do appreciate Brent for doing such a cool product. But on the other hand, I'm very, very glad that it does not resemble my tonality at all and the way I speak. And I'm also very glad that it has a certain sense of English accent to it, which I don't have. And my punctuations are different as compared to the one that it has. But personally, I think I would not enjoy having the interpersonal aspect of my voice, my expression in my voice, my tonality being scraped out by an AI, for sure. However, I do see that there are some places where we might agree to use it or to find use cases to use it. But I'm the skeptic here. I'm going to completely live out of this experience if I have to go through this.
I'm actually using 11 Labs for everything, and I have roughly every single person is trained on a maximum of like 5 minutes of audio. Or not trained, but I assume 11 Labs is doing some fine tuning on their model. Yeah, so I've definitely got a few responses like similar to this, right? Like, oh, this is kind of creepy. Like, oh, my voice is cloned. Like, did I even want my voice cloned? I think these are valid questions. I think it's really important that there's a public discourse about this sort of thing as AI really begins to take off in the next 5 years. Also, as far as this project goes, if anybody wants their voice down, by all means, literally just let me know. I will take down any voice.
Definitely this. Just hearing my voice say things that I haven't said is pretty bizarre. This is so cool. It's saying things in a way I wouldn't say it though. It's just my voice is the same, but the way. Turns out this thing doesn't only speak English.
There's no point in being concerned about reality. It is what it is.
Yes, I found the same, not particularly persuasive. But Descript, that program Descript, you train it and it's getting better and better and better. You know, you train it on, initially it was like an hour's worth of your own audio. I think they've gotten that down to like 10 minutes or something. You just feed it 10 minutes of your own voice and then it's able to say anything that you like. So these things are out there and they are pretty accurate. It can't get tone and inflection done very well. But if you're just reading something, for example, it's almost indistinguishable. I should say I haven't found a use for it. In my mind, I thought, this Descript voice emulation thing, maybe I can just type out a script rather than having to say it, but I've never found any reason to do that. There's absolutely no reason why I wouldn't just talk rather than type and have the machine talk for me. So even if it was perfect, I don't find a use, except, maybe I have some terrible accident and lose my voice.
Wow, Alex, this is insane. I play with it, and though some voices are not alike yours, Naval, they don't sound like you guys, a little more robotic and more plain. Brian's voice sounds exactly the same. Keith's voice doesn't sound like him, as long as I can tell. Senya's voice sounds like her. Jess's voice sounds like her. It's kind of scary. I don't like it. I don't know. Maybe I like it because it's cool, but it kind of freaks me out a little bit.
Hey, my name is Michael, and I like to party and build shit. Hey, my name is Michael, and I like to party and build shit. Only one of those things is true, though.
I tried it out. Very interesting. I like it because the English of my clone version sounded native and sounded cool. And so I might be able to use it to improve my English pronunciation, to know the difference between my actual pronunciation and the one AI implied.
Oh, I am going to run up your 11 Labs bill with this one, wise guy. Get Chit Chat.
Hey everyone, just wanted to let you know a really cool channel just dropped. It's me. It's all my best chits because, let's face it, that's why you're all here. Just kidding, or am I? Seriously, check it out. Just search Palace of How Great I Am. And let me know what you think by keeping that shit to yourselves, please. Return the map. Return what you have stolen from me.
Remember this one? This is the throwback, the Wayback Machine. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. All right. It's been nice being here, everyone.